Think of all those innumerable occasions over the last 25 years when, on account of the actions you took, the child lived.
I do that. I mean, that's certainly forefront.
Looking back on it, the decisions and the actions that led to the child living compared to the decisions and the actions that led to the child dying, was there any difference for you at the moment, in the moment? None at all. In every case, without doubt, I have no doubt, and I'm quite sure that you have no doubt, that your decisions and your actions were informed by the same love and by the same intelligence. What it is that resulted in some of those children living and some of those children dying is completely out of your hands and is not in any way related to the integrity, the love, the intelligence with which you decided and acted. I mean, I know that you know this, but I'm just spelling it out. Just as you are not personally responsible for the lives of the children that lived, nor are you personally responsible for the ones that didn't. You did your very best. I have no doubt, and I'm quite sure that you have no doubt, that on every single occasion you did your very best to express your love, your intelligence, your knowledge. You gave it your best decision and acted as in a way that was consistent with that love and understanding. That's all we can do. What else could you have done? What else can any of us do?
That was the answer in part that was in the question.
Yes.
You know, and I'm partly saying this, although it's not easy for me, because I know that everybody in this room has similar experiences. And these are sort of dramatic examples of things either by omission or commission that bubble up and sort of interfere with being aware.
That's the only thing that I would change or add to what you said. It doesn't interfere with being aware. Of course, we all in this room, every one of us has instances, perhaps not as life and death as the ones that you describe, but you know, is there a parent in this room who, given their time again, wouldn't do things differently? I certainly would.
Who hasn't had a baby roll off the changing table onto the floor?
To name one of many, many such examples. But at the moment when we made the decision or acted in a certain way, did we not do so out of our best love and intelligence in that moment? Of course we did. And of course, in retrospect, when we see the consequences of which our decision and action is a part, then we think, oh, if I had done that differently, maybe. But none of that interferes with being aware. And you can experiment with this. You can take your worst thought and your best thought, your worst feelings and your best feelings. They appear equally in this loving space of awareness. those feelings and those regrets, they don't interfere with the experience of being aware. It's not possible to interfere with the experience of being aware. Try, play devil's advocate with yourself. Try to interfere with the experience of being aware. See if you can, for instance, stop the experience of being aware. It's not possible. And it's good to explore your experience in this way, to really see that none of these feelings, however dark and difficult they are, none of them really interfere with the experience of being aware.
I meant that only figuratively, as you probably know. I mean, I do ultimately accept these as only thoughts and so on. But, having those thoughts bubble up, as I think others have expressed, temporarily causes feelings of suffering. I realize fully well and generally do get to that, back to that experience. But
I'm just saying this because I'm just trying to gently push you, because it's one thing to accept our feelings, for instance, the feelings you share, the feelings of guilt. It's another thing for those feelings to gradually dissolve in this loving space of awareness. And I would suggest it's to accept these feelings is the first step. But in time, these feelings of guilt dissolve in the loving space of awareness. You don't want to be living just carrying around these feelings of guilt inside. In time, they must dissolve, and they will dissolve in awareness, but they won't, they need a little help. And that is why to think about these feelings in this way, to go over them, to see, as we were saying before, that you obviously, in both cases, in the ones that survived and in the ones that didn't, your decisions and actions were obviously informed by the same love and intelligence. To rehearse this, to go into that again until that understanding really penetrates these feelings. So that this slight cloud, this thin cloud over awareness, this cloud of guilt, or in your case, or sorrow, in someone else's case, or loss, it really dissolves in the loving space of awareness in time, leaving the loving space of awareness really clear, not slightly veiled by feelings.